The clock is ticking, and if you're planning to travel to the United States or waiting on a visa application, what I'm about to share could change everything. January 2026 has brought sweeping changes to American immigration policy that could affect millions of people worldwide, and you need to know about this right now. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I break down the most important immigration news and policy changes so you can stay informed and make the best decisions for you and your family. Today, we're diving into the Trump administration's latest announcement regarding visa restrictions and travel bans that went into effect this month. This isn't speculation or rumor. This is happening right now, and the implications are massive. Make sure you stick around until the end because I'll be sharing practical steps you can take to protect your immigration plans, and trust me, you don't want to miss that information. So let's get straight into it. The Trump administration has announced a comprehensive overhaul of visa processing and travel permissions that represents one of the most significant shifts in American immigration policy in recent years. These changes affect multiple visa categories, impact travelers from numerous countries, and introduce stricter vetting procedures that will fundamentally alter how people enter the United States. The first major component of these new restrictions involves an expansion of the travel ban to include additional countries. While the exact list of newly affected nations requires verification through official channels, the administration has indicated that countries deemed to have inadequate information sharing protocols or heightened security concerns will face enhanced restrictions. This means that citizens from these designated countries will encounter significantly more difficulty obtaining visitor visas, student visas, and even immigrant visas for permanent residents. What makes this particularly concerning is the breadth of visa categories being affected. We're not just talking about tourist visas here. The restrictions extend to employment-based visas, which means skilled workers and professionals hoping to work in the United States could face unprecedented delays or outright denials. Student visas, which have historically been a pathway for international education and cultural exchange, are also under scrutiny with new requirements for documentation and background checks that could extend processing times by several months. The business community has expressed alarm over restrictions affecting H-1B visas, L-1 intracompany transfer visas, and other work-related permits. Companies that rely on international talent pipelines are scrambling to understand how these changes will impact their ability to recruit and retain skilled workers. The technology sector, healthcare industry, and academic institutions are particularly vulnerable as they've traditionally depended heavily on foreign-born professionals to fill critical roles. Family-based immigration isn't being spared either. The new policies introduce additional screening requirements for family reunification cases, which could mean longer separation periods for families waiting to be together. Spouses, children, and parents of U.S. citizens and permanent residents may now face extended wait times and more intensive interviews before their applications are approved. One of the most controversial aspects of these new restrictions is the implementation of enhanced extreme vetting procedures. This term, which has been used by the administration to describe more rigorous background checks and screening processes, translates into real-world delays and complications for millions of applicants. The extreme vetting protocols include expanded social media reviews, longer interview processes, and requests for documentation that many applicants may find difficult or impossible to provide, especially if they're coming from countries with limited record-keeping infrastructure. Visa processing times, which were already lengthy in many cases, are expected to balloon even further. What might have taken 6 months could now take a year or more. For people whose lives are on hold waiting for visa approval, whether it's to start a new job, begin university studies, or reunite with loved ones, these delays represent more than just bureaucratic inconvenience. They represent missed opportunities, financial hardship, and emotional strain. The announcement has also introduced uncertainty around visa renewals and status changes. People who are already in the United States on temporary visas are wondering whether they'll be able to extend their stay or adjust their status. Some immigration attorneys are reporting that their clients are being subjected to requests for evidence at unprecedented rates, with immigration authorities demanding additional documentation even for straightforward cases that would have been approved routinely in the past. Travel itself has become more complicated under these new restrictions. Even individuals who hold valid visas may face additional scrutiny at ports of entry, including airports and land border crossings. Customs and Border Protection officers have broader discretion to conduct secondary inspections, which can involve detailed questioning, device searches, and temporary detention while background checks are completed. Some travelers report being turned away despite having proper documentation, highlighting the unpredictable nature of enforcement under the new policies. The ripple effects of these restrictions extend beyond individual applicants. International education programs are concerned about declining enrollment from affected countries, which could impact university budgets and campus diversity. The tourism industry anticipates reduced visitor numbers, which translates to lost revenue for hotels, attractions, and businesses that depend on international travelers. Cultural exchange programs that have fostered understanding between nations for decades face an uncertain future. Economic analysts are also weighing in on the potential impact of these restrictions on American competitiveness. Innovation has often been fueled by the contributions of immigrants and international workers who bring diverse perspectives and specialized skills. Some experts worry that overly restrictive immigration policies could drive talent to other countries that offer more welcoming pathways to work and residency, potentially disadvantaging American companies and research institutions in the global competition for top talent. For those who are currently navigating the immigration system or planning to do so, the situation demands careful attention and strategic planning. First and foremost, staying informed through official government channels is essential. Immigration policies can change rapidly, and what's true today might shift tomorrow. Regularly checking the State Department website, USCIS announcements, and embassy updates for your specific country is crucial. If you have a visa application in process, document everything meticulously. Keep copies of all correspondence, maintain records of documents submitted, and track processing times. If you're asked for additional evidence, respond promptly and thoroughly. Consider consulting with a qualified immigration attorney who can provide guidance tailored to your specific situation and help you navigate the increasingly complex requirements. For those planning to travel to the United States, build extra time into your schedule to account for potential delays. Apply for visas well in advance of your intended travel dates and be prepared for the possibility that your application might take longer than expected. Make sure all your documentation is in order, including proof of ties to your home country, financial stability, and the purpose of your visit. If you're already in the United States on a temporary visa, be proactive about understanding your options for extension or status change. Don't wait until the last minute to address your immigration status. Overstaying a visa, even by a single day, can have serious consequences for future immigration applications. The current climate also underscores the importance of maintaining compliance with all visa conditions. If you're here on a student visa, ensure you're maintaining full-time enrollment and not working beyond what's permitted. If you're on a work visa, don't engage in unauthorized employment. Even minor violations that might have been overlooked in the past could now trigger serious consequences. Looking ahead, the landscape of American immigration appears poised for continued evolution and restriction. While some advocates hope that certain policies might be challenged or revised, the reality is that anyone with plans involving U.S. immigration needs to prepare for a more challenging environment. Understanding your rights, staying informed about policy changes, and seeking professional guidance when needed aren't just recommendations, they're necessities in this new era of immigration enforcement. The bottom line is this: if you're affected by these visa restrictions and travel bans, you're not alone, but you do need to be proactive. The rules have changed, the process has become more complex, and the stakes have never been higher. But with the right information, careful planning, and perhaps professional assistance, you can still navigate this system successfully. That's everything you need to know about the January 2026 immigration restrictions that are affecting millions of people worldwide. I hope this breakdown has given you clarity on what's happening and what you can do to protect your immigration plans. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel reach more people who need this information. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on immigration news and policy changes. Drop a comment below, letting me know how these changes are affecting you or if you have questions about your specific situation. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to navigating immigration. Stay informed, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.